Michael Bublé plays a key role in Sofronio Vasquez's new EP. The narrative of reality television success often ends when the cameras stop rolling, but for Sofronio Vasquez, the winner of The Voice, the story is only just beginning, and it is being written by some of the most legendary names in music history. Recently, the official channel of The Voice released exclusive behind-the-scenes footage that confirms the enduring mentorship between Sofronio and his former coach, Michael Bublé. The video documents a pivotal recording session that took place on August 4th in Los Angeles, California, marking a significant step in Sofronio's post-competition career. The session, organized personally by Bublé, was held at the home studio of Grammy-nominated engineer Jorge Vivo. The objective was to record a reimagined version of the holiday classic, My Grown-Up Christmas List, serving as a lead single for Sofronio's upcoming extended play, EP. However, Bublé's involvement went far beyond just arranging the session. In a move that signals immense faith in Sofronio's potential, Bublé brought on board the legendary producer and songwriter David Foster to oversee the recording and produce the EP. The significance of this cannot be overstated. David Foster is the titan of the industry who famously discovered Michael Bublé early in his career, signing him and producing the records that made him a global superstar. By involving Foster, Bublé is effectively passing the torch, placing Sofronio in the same hands that sculpted his own legacy. Adding to the star power, music icon Paul Anka, a longtime friend and mentor to Bublé, also joined the session. In the video, a visibly emotional Michael Bublé gestured to Foster and Anka, describing them as the beautiful team that believed in Sofronio, just as they had once believed in him when he was an aspiring artist. Bublé emphasized the broader impact of Sofronio's journey, noting that he carries the hope of so many beautiful people in Southeast Asia, proving that such dreams can indeed come true. According to the update, Bublé championed the idea of an EP as the perfect vehicle to launch Sofronio's recording career, designed specifically to showcase his incredible vocal range. The project is set to feature 4 songs performed during the show, 1 original track written by Bublé himself, and the Christmas duet. Reflecting on the experience of singing in front of his heroes, Sofronio expressed deep gratitude, dedicating the moment to dreamers everywhere and urging them to keep knocking on doors. Following the release of the Christmas single in November 2025, it was revealed that Sofronio returned to the studio to record a trio performance of My Way with both Michael Bublé and Paul Anka, scheduled for release in early 2026. To fully grasp the emotional weight of this recording session, one must look beyond the glitz of a Los Angeles studio and the presence of Grammy winners. One must juxtapose this image of triumph against the backdrop of the life Sofronio Vasquez lived before the world knew his name. The journey to that microphone was not a straight line. It was a winding, arduous path paved with silence, sacrifice, and the crushing weight of uncertainty. Sofronio's story begins thousands of miles away from Hollywood, in the province of Misamis Occidental in northern Mindanao, Philippines. He did not grow up with industry connections or a safety net. His early life was shaped by the fragility of his environment. In intimate interviews, he has described growing up in what he termed a squatter's area, living with the terrifying, constant anxiety that his home could be demolished at any moment. In that world, stability was the ultimate luxury, and dreaming was a dangerous game. From a young age, music was his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the precariousness of his reality. However, the pressure to survive often drowned out the desire to sing. As the dutiful son of parents who fought hard to provide for him, Sofronio understood that he needed a practical future. This understanding led him to pursue dentistry, a noble, stable profession that promised security, even if it didn't promise joy. 4 years, he walked the line between his duty and his passion. In the Philippines, he was a known contender in the singing circuit, most notably on Tawag Ng Tanghalan. He was the singer with the flawless technique, the one who could silence a crowd with a single note. Yet, despite his undeniable talent, the massive breakthrough remained elusive. He faced the specific heartbreaking pain of being almost good enough, always a finalist, never the superstar. The rejection was not loud. It was a quiet, creeping realization that perhaps his destiny was to be ordinary. The weight of these near misses, compounded by the economic struggles brought on by the pandemic, forced him to make a decision that felt like a surrender. To secure his future and help his family, Sofronio made the agonizing choice to leave the Philippines. He migrated to the United States, not with a record deal, but with a suitcase and a resignation letter to his dreams. He settled in Utica, New York, and the stage lights were replaced by the fluorescent glare of a dental clinic. For a long, quiet season of his life, Sofronio Vasquez worked as a dental assistant. He traded the microphone for suction tubes and sterilization trays. The hands that now hold a contract with David Foster were busy scrubbing medical instruments. Imagine the profound loneliness of that transition. He went from performing on national television to being an anonymous face in a foreign land. In the clinic, beneath the surgical mask and the scrubs, the artist was suffocating. The hum of the medical equipment became the soundtrack of his days, replacing the applause he craved. The immigrant experience is often one of silent endurance, the feeling of being invisible, of starting over from zero in a country that does not know your history. There must have been nights in his apartment where the silence was deafening. He was thousands of miles away from the culture that understood him, working a job that paid the bills but starved his soul. The fear that his time had passed must have been a constant companion. The entertainment industry is obsessed with youth, and he was a man who had pressed pause on his career to survive. He had to grapple with the terrifying thought that perhaps the music was just a childhood hobby, something to be packed away with the rest of his past. But a true calling is resilient. It survives the silence. It survives the rejection. It survives the long shifts on tired feet. When Sofronio decided to audition for The Voice, it was a desperate, terrifying gamble. It was the dental assistant deciding that he was not ready to let the dream die without one last fight. When he stepped onto that stage, he wasn't just singing for a trophy. He was singing for the boy in Mindanao who feared losing his home. He was singing for the immigrant who felt invisible in the clinic. He was singing to reclaim the identity he had sacrificed on the altar of survival. When Michael Bublé turned his chair, he didn't just hear a voice. He heard the story behind it. He recognized the texture of struggle and the depth of soul that only comes from navigating the darkness. The mentorship that followed was not just about song choices. It was about restoration. Bublé saw the star that Sofronio had forgotten he was. Now, seeing him in a studio with David Foster and Paul Anka, recording songs that will be heard by millions, is a moment of profound vindication. It is the universe balancing the scales. The dental assistant who once cleaned tools is now creating art with the architects of modern music. Sofronio Vasquez's journey commands deep respect because it is a mirror of the human spirit's capacity to endure. He teaches us that a detour is not a dead end. He proves that you can walk away from your dream to survive, and still find the courage to walk back to it when the time is right. As he prepares to release this EP, the world sees a polished artist. But those who know his story see the invisible scars of his sacrifice. They see the resilience of a man who refused to be defined by his circumstances. When he sings My Way with Bublé and Anka, it will not just be a performance. It will be an anthem for every dreamer who has ever felt like giving up. It is a quiet, emotional reminder that even in the longest silence, the song is still waiting to be sung. Sofronio Vasquez is not just a singer. He is a testament to the fact that if you keep knocking, eventually, the right door will open.